Yes, my people. Welcome back to another edition of the Reggae Boys Weekly. What time is it now? Let me see. 10:15 a.m. We've never done the Reggae Boys Weekly this early in the morning before. However, today's a special edition, I guess you could say. Not something that I'd be doing or I will be doing often. You know what I'm saying? But I had some time on my hands, so I decided, why not do a live video? For the Reggae Boys Weekly. Tomorrow we'll have Reggae Boys Weekly again, where we'll have the Punk of the Week, and we'll also have Reggae Boys Weekly this Sunday, once again with the Star of the Week. However, we have some big topics to discuss today surrounding our respective Reggae Boy players. Kaheim Dixon, his deal with Charlton Athletic just got announced. So big news there for Kaheim Dixon, and a massive congratulations for Kaheim Dixon, as this is basically a new chapter for Kaheim Dixon. I think Dixon is 18, 19 now, so moving to England, moving abroad, different culture, different environment. He has to acclimatize himself, get things going, settling, and hopefully he can kick on at Charlton Athletic. You have players like Kaheim Anderson there who definitely will be helping Kaheim Dixon to settle in. Recently, there was Michael Hector. However, I think his contract ran out, and they did not renew his contract, so he left Charlton Athletic as a free agent. But we have some massive developments surrounding Raheem Sterling, people, especially as it pertains to his Chelsea future. So as we all know, Enzo Maresca is basically forcing Raheem Sterling out the door. Whether it is Enzo Maresca or whether it is Todd Bowley or anybody that is on the board, whatever the case is. But I don't feel like it's so much of an Enzo Maresca thing. I think Enzo Maresca is much more of a puppet at Chelsea rather than the man leading the charge to get rid of Raheem Sterling. That's just my opinion, people, right? However, he is being linked with a move to Aston Villa. Coming out of The Guardian, it is being reported that Aston Villa, they've made contacts with Chelsea as it pertains to the acquisition of Raheem Sterling. However, Fabrizio Romano came out today, or he posted something stating that Aston Villa, they've not made any contacts, or there's no talks between Aston Villa and Chelsea at this moment in time. So The Guardian is saying one thing, and then you have Fabrizio Romano saying another thing, and I guess we all know who we can trust a bit more. So we'll just have to see the developments surrounding Raheem Sterling. I mean, listen, if there's a possibility of Sterling going to Aston Villa by the end of this transfer window, then for me, Leon Bailey will be crucial in recruiting Raheem Sterling, seeing that they share a very, very close relationship, almost like a brotherhood. So Leon Bailey getting on the phone, talking to Raheem Sterling, it could be a massive thing in order to get Raheem Sterling over the line if he is supposed to join Aston Villa. However, before I get into all the topics, let me just give you guys the quick intro, and we'll break everything down as quickly as possible. Yes, people, once again, big up on yourself. I have somebody in the comment section. Chorus Carnif, big up yourself. Up. Once again, people, if you just joined the live stream, go ahead and smash that like button. You guys might be wondering, where's Dicanio or Dylan? They won't be on this live stream. It's just me to the people, just a solo thing. However, I want to get in the first topic that we have to discuss this morning. So let me just put it up on screen quickly. So it surrounds Kaheim Dixon. So Charlton Athletic announced the acquisition of Kaheim Dixon. However, before I get into the article itself, as we all know, Kaheim Dixon, he passed his medical a couple weeks ago. However, there was a holdup with his work permit, and that is sorted now. And that is why after the medical, they did not announce Kaheim Dixon, because he did not have a work permit, so he wasn't legally able to work in England, if that makes sense, until he would have gotten his work permit, and that would have allowed Charlton Athletic to fully announce the signing of Kaheim Dixon. But this is Kaheim Dixon on screen with the Jamaica flag, 876, repping the 876 flag. So big up yourself, Kaheim Dixon. So the report is that Kaheim Dixon is an addict, and this was published 2 minutes ago. So Charlton Athletic are delighted to announce the signing of Jamaica international Kaheim Dixon, the talented 19-year-old forward who has joined from Jamaica Premier League side Arnett Gardens for an undisclosed fee, was originally identified via the club's partners Mount Pleasant, with the move then being assisted by Charlton's strong links to Dixon's national team. And let me just stick a pin here, people. One sec. Yeah, people. So sorry about that. So an interesting bit of information from this article. It's stating that let me just find it back for you guys. It's very interesting, and I think we have to discuss it and break it down. So it stated that he was signed for an undisclosed fee. He was originally identified via the club's partners, Mount Pleasant. As we all know, Mount Pleasant and Charlton Athletic, they share a very close relationship. And I think recently they signed a deal as well in terms of like, Mount Pleasant players being able to go to Charlton Athletic. In terms of like, um, you're scouting from Mount Pleasant in some sense. Not that every player will get an opportunity, but there's a very close relationship between Mount Pleasant and Charlton Athletic. And I'm just refreshing the memory of you guys that they did sign some form of partnership deal not too long ago. Sincere, that was. Now, it's stating that Mount Pleasant was crucial in this deal in terms of Charlton Athletic acquiring Kaheim Dixon. So that is something interesting. I'm sure that in coming days, we'll hear a bit more clarity or information surrounding how that happened or how Mount Pleasant would have really helped to get Dixon to Charlton Athletic. The article went on to state that with the move then being assisted by Charlton's strong links to Dixon's national team. Born and raised in Trenchtown, Kingston, Dixon has already made 8 appearances for Jamaica, scoring twice and being part of the Reggae Boyz Copa America squad alongside Charlton's own Corey Anderson. He has signed a 4-year deal with the club and becomes Nathan Jones' 8th signing of the summer. So Charlton Athletic in total, they've made 8 signings since this summer transfer window, and Kaheim Dixon makes it number 8, and it's a 4-year deal as well. So Kaheim Dixon is contracted to Charlton for 4 years. So not like Chelsea where them sign players for a lot of money and then them put them on some big contract for like 6 years or 7 years or whatever the case is. That's not the case with Kaheim Dixon at Charlton Athletic. Kaheim Dixon went on to state, and I quote, "I am very happy to be here." Dixon beamed. "My first opportunity to go professional is to be at the Addicts. It's been very good to see Corey Anderson, another teammate from my country. I can't wait to start playing with him." And as I said, Kaheim Dixon would have been very familiar with Corey Anderson, seeing that they're in the same national team. Manager Nathan Jones said, "Kaheim is a young, exciting talent that we have been keeping an eye on for several months. Watching his progress and how he has done in the Jamaica national team alongside Corey, we're looking forward to working with him, developing him, and making him a better player." And I have to say, people, I believe being in the Charlton Athletic environment, I definitely think that Corey Anderson will develop. You know what I'm saying? He's not in the Jamaica Premier League. He's not playing in a semi-professional league. This is a full-on professional league. So I think it will massively help in his development, especially his finishing abilities as well as his decision making, because I think to an extent his decision making is a bit poor. But I mean, when you're that young, you're not polished, you won't have everything figured out as a professional player in terms of all your attributes. Won't be up to 100%. So for me, Dixon will definitely improve as a player at Charlton Athletic. But that is basically it surrounding this article. I don't want to get into anything else. I just want to announce the signing. As you all know, you guys would have seen it this morning. However, let me just share some clips from the Charlton Athletic Instagram page as it surrounds the signing of Kaheim Dixon. So this would have been the first thing that they would have posted surrounding Dixon. Small clip, small video. We see MG Sports in the comment section. L.A. Lewis, we all know who L.A. Lewis is. Never know so L.A. Lewis keep up with football still, but big up yourself, L.A. Lewis, in comment. And this is Kara and this people. Yeah, looks good in red, right? Charlton Athletic, eighth signing of the summer since the summer transfer window. I think Kaheim was probably saying, "Come on, addicts." Right there. This is Kaheim Dixon once again. With pen over paper. That is the contract that he would have been signing at that moment in time. Once again, it's a 4-year contract, people. So it's a good thing for Kaheim Dixon. And this is the man in red, the man of the moment, people, right? And huge congratulations to Kaheim Dixon. This is Kaheim Dixon once again. Anything relating to Kaheim Dixon, we'll just give it a like. So this is Dixon once again, Jamaica flag, heart over the logo of the club. Yep. And everything is fine now. The work permit is granted, and Kaheim Dixon will get straight to work. The only thing that I'm sad about, people, is that, to me, based off what I saw, it doesn't look like he had a pre-season. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure that he would have been in the gym, keeping up his fitness, etc., etc. But kind of going into this season without a proper pre-season, he's already behind. But I'm sure he'll catch up, and he'll just have to work, 10 times as hard. You know what I'm saying? And this is his teammate, Jamaican international Kaheim Anderson. They play for the same country, and now Kaheim is joining forces with Kaheim Anderson at the Addicts. And did I like that post? Let me just see if I did like that. Give that a like. Which other one I never liked? Let me give this a like. Yeah. And this is the last clip of Kaheim Dixon on Charlton's Instagram page. Let me just see if I can just play the audio for you guys.
My first opportunity to go professional to be at the Addicts. Yeah.
How good has it been to see Karai as well?
Very good to see another teammate from a country. Yeah, I'm happy. Can't wait to start playing with him.
You like it here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice facility.
Yeah, and our left hand needs to come a lot lower.
Up the Addicts. Here we come.
Yeah, people. Yeah. You hear Kaheim Dixon beaming with excitement. You can see it on his face. You know what I'm saying? Up the Addicts. So once again, people, big up to Kaheim Dixon. Share thoughts in the comment section. Well, of course, Garni, of course, big up yourself. Mario Rossi said, "Up Gunners." Sadly, Gunners isn't here today. Just me, people. But yeah, let me take this off screen. But once again, people, big up to Kaheim Anderson, who plays for Charlton Athletic, and big up to Kaheim Dixon as well, who just signed his contract with Charlton Athletic, aka the Addicts, a 4-year deal. At this moment in time, so a lot of hard work to do for Kaheim Dixon, and we wish him nothing but the best. It's a good thing to see a next player leaving from the JPL going overseas. We've seen quite a few who they went to Europe, but it didn't work out. However, it's just a learning process. Things happen, and as Jamaicans, in terms of whoever is responsible for the JPL, etc., coaches alike, etc., etc., and at the grassroots level, we just have to do a better job in terms of developing players from an early stage, that whenever they do go to Europe, they have a good chance of staying in Europe and making something of themselves rather than returning to the Jamaica Premier League. So once again, big up to Kaheim Dixon. A lot of hard work to put in. I think Charlton, they've already kickstarted their season, so a lot of excitement. I'll definitely be tuning into a lot more Charlton Athletic games to watch young Kaheim Dixon. But anyways, people, we can move on with the topics. Once again, if you're new to the channel, if you're just joining, smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and leave your thoughts in the comment section. Feel free to share thoughts in the comment section, people. So our next topic I want to talk about today, right, is it centers around what's his name? Renaldo Cephas. And let me just bring it up on screen. So Renaldo Cephas, big problems at his club in Turkey, right? Recently, the club stated that he's missing, and Cephas went on his Instagram to state that missing where. He was on his Instagram posting while the club was stating that he's missing, he can't be found. So, anyways, the agent of Renaldo Cephas, Kevin Cowan, who is also the agent of Kaheim Dixon, did an interview with the Jamaica Gleaner, right? And this was published actually today at 12:11 a.m. in the morning. So early morning. That time I would have probably. So let me just read the article for you guys. Kevin Cowan, agent of Jamaican international Renaldo Cephas, he stated that it is incredibly unreasonable and unrealistic amid interest in the transfer market. In the article, it went on to state, or Kevin went on to state, Cowan explained that the embroiling situation has been sparked by interest from a club in another country. He confirmed that the unnamed club has approached Ankara Gucci in order to acquire Cephas services. Cowan said despite a credible offer from the interested party, Ankara Gucci's transfer demands are unrealistic and could price his player out of a possible move. There is significant interest in the player from another country, and it's definitely in the player's best interest to pursue this opportunity, Cowan said. The offer is incredibly good, especially considering that Ankara Gucci is in the second league at the moment. What they're asking for is incredibly unreasonable and unrealistic, he added. Cephas signed for Ankara Gucci in August 2023 and so far has netted thrice and provided 3 assists in 35 appearances for the club. To be honest, people, I've never watched Ankara Gucci. I do not know the quality of the league that Cephas is playing in. However, I mean, 3 goals and 3 assists in 35 appearances. Is it something good? Is it the best thing to write home about? However, before I continue with this article, people, a friend of mine, he contacted me a couple days ago and he was like, Persa, which Premier League club interested in Cephas? And I was like, English Premier League club? And him say, yeah, I said, to be honest, bro, I don't feel like Cephas is good for the Premier League. Honestly, people, I don't think Renaldo Cephas is good for the English Premier League. It's no disrespect to the player, but I don't see Cephas being a player that can take a spot in the English Premier League. Trust me, people. So when him link me about that, I tell him, say, bro, I don't think there's any team that is interested in the Prem. I don't think there's any team in the Prem that is interested in Renaldo Cephas, and it's just the cold hard truth. Championship, EFL League One, I could see that, but not the English Premier League. However, once again, Cephas signed for Ankara Gucci in August of 2023. During that period, Ankara Gucci finished 17th in the Turkish top flight with 40 points and were relegated to the Trendyol 1 League, Turkey's second division. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Cowan said the recent reports from Turkey detailing Cephas' disagreement with the club have caused him to publicly address the situation and defend his client's interest. Obviously, there have been multiple reports coming out of Turkey indicating that Renaldo Cephas and his current club, Ankara Gucci, are having some kind of problems, he said. As the representative of the player, my role is to defend his rights and interests without breaching the terms of the current employment agreement in place. And that's precisely what we have done. Cowan said it is fairly common for a player and a club to have disagreements, particularly with regard to the transfer market and club interests. He maintained that Cephas will perform with the utmost professionalism while still under contract at Ankara Gucci. He said the way forward is for both Cephas and Ankara Gucci to find a suitable solution that will benefit the players and the club's interests. What I can say is that it is quite normal from time to time for a player and this club to have a disagreement. The key is to try to find an amicable solution. For now, Cephas is a player for Ankara Gucci and he will continue to respect the club and his contract. However, we will continue to fight for his rights while being in pursuit of his best interests. Ankara Gucci have played twice so far in the Turkish second division this season, with Cephas yet to feature for the club, and that is it surrounding the article. It's coming from the Jamaica Gleaner. It was published today at 12:11 a.m. So the headline is Cephas in transfer saga as international interest heats up. I mean, listen, it would be interesting to know the country that not the country. It would be interesting to know the club from the respective country that is interested in Renaldo Cephas. New media, big up yourself. Him say, I see Whisper post Dixon. That's a good look. Like that. Big up Whisper. Yeah, Whisper and Dixon have a good relationship. You know, I always see them in each other comment section and big up them each other. So there's no beef, or like sometimes like people want to make it all like the player them like have a good relationship, but I think vast majority of the players have a good relationship. But let me just talk about Cephas some more, people. In terms of Ronaldo Cephas and this whole situation, Kevin Cowan, he represents multiple players that play for the national team. Kaheim Dixon, who just got his move, Shamar Nicholson, I think Paris as well, if I'm not mistaken, Renaldo Cephas. And if you look across this summer, Kevin Cowan, his clients, they've been on the move surrounding this summer transfer window. With Dixon getting the move, that's a good thing. Cephas, obviously, there's unsurety surrounding his future, and there's a big saga developing surrounding him wanting to leave Ankara Gucci. And Ankara Gucci, what they're asking for is unrealistic as to what Kevin Cowan is saying. So Cephas is one to look out for who could be on the move. And I think the big player that could also be on the move at the end of the summer is Shamar Nicholson. The last time Shamar Nicholson got a move away from his club, which is Spartak Moscow, it was on deadline day, basically. I think it was on deadline day, if I'm not mistaken. I did research it today. I think it was on deadline day. It was in the last part of the transfer window in which Shamar Nicholson went to the club in France. So Cephas, you could see a possibility of this going down to the wire at the end of the transfer window for him to get away from Ankara Gucci. And, the fact that they're relegated to the second division of the Turkish league, it's not like the first division where you have teams like Galatasaray and Fenerbahce as well as other respective teams. The Turkish first league, the quality is good. These teams are playing in Europa League. These teams are playing in the Champions League. So to be playing in the first division of the Turkish league, I mean, that's a good thing for Renaldo Cephas, or that was a good thing for Renaldo Cephas. But seeing that they're relegated to the Turkish second league, I think the best thing for Cephas to do is to get away as soon as possible surrounding this Ankara Gucci team. I think there's a player within Cephas. He's like 23, 24. I think Cephas can do better in terms of finding a different league. So for me, once Kevin Cowan can get Renaldo Cephas out of Ankara Gucci, I think that would be a good thing going into the next season. Well, this is the next season because it basically started, seasons across the globe, they've basically kick-started already. So for me, I hope Kevin Cowan and company can get this started and get Cephas out of the Turkish second division, because I think he's better than the Turkish second division people. However, as it pertains to Shamar Nicholson, that could be one that goes down to the wire again, because Shamar Nicholson is not really featuring for his team in Russia. And, the best thing is for him to get the hell out of that club. You know what I'm saying? Go somewhere where you can get enough game time, because the competition for places in the national team, the new selection with the new coach, whatever, it will be competitive in terms of who Steve McLaren will be selecting. And I mean, it would be unfair for you to be at a club not getting game time, but yet still demand a place in the national team as a starter compared to players who are playing and getting minutes compared to you. Players that are getting minutes, I think that they should get a starting place over someone who is not really getting minutes for their respective club teams. So Shamar Nicholson needs to get his future started. That comes down to Kevin Cowan and the agency, as well as Renaldo Cephas needs to get his situation started as it pertains to his situation with Ankara Gucci. I don't think there's no solution to this problem. The only solution for me is for the man to leave the club. Simple as that. Simple as that, people. But once again, people, like up the video, take some comments. Sherman Scott, big up yourself. One done, big up. Andy Bailey said Raheem Sterling not going to Villa. if they're not paying him the same amount of money. He has 4 years or 3 years left on his contract. Why would he leave? Don't think what? I'm just this comment. He has 4 years left at City. I mean, which City? Sterling play for Chelsea. Chelsea Sterling play for. He has 3 years left at Chelsea. Why should he leave? I don't think he love football more than money at his age. I mean, you make a good point. However, he's at Chelsea, not Manchester City. So we'll get into the Sterling discussion, but that's all I wanted to say about Renaldo Cephas and the report coming out of the Jamaica Observer. His agent spoke to them and said that the situation is unreasonable and untenable, basically. So yeah, they need to find a solution. Now let's head into the next topic, and it pertains to Raheem Sterling and a proposed move to Aston Villa. So let me just put it up on screen for you guys. Let me see. You guys can see it. Let me see. Let me stop share screen for a while, people. 1 second. All right, here it is, people. Forgive me for that bit of a technical issue just now. But anyways, people. So boom, Raheem Sterling and Leon Bailey. Is there a possibility of Raheem Sterling joining forces with Leon Chippy Bailey at Aston Villa? I think it's a strong possibility, people. And I will get into the article. Let me just take this comment. New media. The Chelsea coach says Sterling is not in his plans. He likes different wingers. Yes, Enzo Maresca did say that that Sterling is not in his plans. And Sterling is reportedly making like £325,000 a week. That is a lot of money, especially for a player that is on or that has 3 years left on his current deal. So let me get into the report quickly. So the headline from The Guardian is saying, Aston Villa approached Chelsea over potential move for Raheem Sterling. The forward has been told he has no future at Chelsea. Sterling's £325,000 weekly wage could be a stumbling block, and that's a lot of money, people. Trust me, that's a lot of money. Aston Villa have held talks over a move for Raheem Sterling, who is looking for a new challenge after being told that he has no future at Chelsea. Sterling has not been at first team training, and the winger is keen to leave Stamford Bridge before the transfer window shuts next Friday. So not today, next week Friday, people. The winger has interest from Villa, who are hoping to add another attacker to Unai Emery's squad. Although moving the 29-year-old could be a challenge, given that he has 3 years left on a deal worth $325,000 a week, there is a sense that Villa could be open to a loan deal if a workaround can be found on the wage packet. So the workaround, people, the article is stating that it surrounds the wage. So if it's a loan deal, what percentage or what amount would Villa cover of his wages if it is a loan deal? Will it be half and half? Or is it the case where Villa, they'll have to cover majority of his wages and Chelsea cover the rest? Or will it be where Chelsea covers majority of his wages and Aston Villa pick up the tab on the remainder of his wages? So that is where the stumbling block is. And I think there's a strong possibility that it will be a loan. It doesn't have to be to Aston Villa, but I think any club that Sterling will leave for this summer, it will be surrounding a loan. I don't see a permanent deal at this moment in time, especially in England. I don't think any club in England will be purchasing Raheem Sterling right now on a permanent deal, especially with the wage that he'll probably be demanding, because I think that Sterling is still a good player. You don't just leave City like 2 seasons ago and overnight you become a bad player. I just feel like Sterling found himself in a bad situation with Chelsea. And I mean, any Raheem Sterling could have seen what happened at Chelsea with this Todd Bowley guy. Then he probably would have never leave City, or even if he did leave, he would have went to a different club, in which I don't know which club that would have been. Maybe Arsenal, who knows? But then at least, right? Funny enough, Mikel Arteta was asked about Raheem Sterling and he said that he cannot speak about Sterling joining the club. However, he can speak about his relationship with Sterling when he was at Manchester City as the assistant manager. Now, to continue in the article, Sterling was falling down the pecking order after the arrivals of Joe Felix and Pedro Neto, has expressed a preference to leave on a permanent basis and is ready to work with the club to find a solution after being informed that he is not in Enzo Maresca's plans. The former Manchester City forward, who joined Chelsea for 42.5 2 years ago, wants to be informed of potential opportunities. Chelsea and Villa have been in regular contacts over signings this summer. Villa tried to buy Conor Gallagher, who eventually went to Atletico Madrid, and they bought Ian Mattison from the West London club. Chelsea signed Omari Kellyman from Villa and were interested in signing the Colombia forward Duran. And Duran is still, there's a strong possibility that he still might leave Aston Villa by the end of the transfer window. Quality players, well, people have to state that Duran is a top-notch player to me, right? So Chelsea, they were interested in signing Duran, but, right now, not now. Discussions over Duran, who scored against West Ham last weekend, could resume if Maresca gets his wish for a new striker. If Osimhen is not a possibility, then Duran could be on the cards once again, because Chelsea, they actually need a striker. Chelsea's top target in attack is the Napoli forward Victor Osimhen, but he is not interested in leaving Napoli on loan. Representatives from Napoli have been in London to hold talks over signing the 97.5 million striker Romelu Lukaku. What? Hold on. Napoli have been in London to hold talks over signing the 97 I think they're talking about the past price tag Romelu Lukaku from Chelsea. Ipswich are waiting to complete a loan deal for Armando Broja. He's an ex-striker as well, but he's not good enough for Chelsea, so he'll be going to Ipswich on loan, I think, with an option to buy. Or I think it comes down to if Ipswich stays in the Prem, then they'll have to actually buy him mandatory option to buy or something like that, I think. Yeah, so that's the deal surrounding Broja, but yeah, he's not good enough for Chelsea, so he's going out on loan. As it pertains to Romelu Lukaku, that deal is being wrapped up, people, and I think Chelsea did state that as soon as that is finished, they'll try to enter talks with Napoli surrounding Victor Osimhen. As we all know, or as it stated, Osimhen does not want a loan deal. He wants to permanently move from Napoli, and Chelsea is the favorite club that he would like to move to. Now, it brings us back to Raheem Sterling. For me, a couple years ago, we saw how the whole Lukaku situation developed in terms of he wanted away from Chelsea after less than a season. Obviously, at the time, no club could buy Romelu Lukaku, especially with the wages that he was on. So the workaround was that he went out on loan. I think he went back to Inter Milan for one season, right? And then after that, he went to Roma for another season, a season-long loan. I don't remember if they were ever interested in signing Lukaku on a permanent basis. However, came back to Chelsea in this summer, and now Lukaku is on the move, and this will be a permanent deal to Napoli, right? And the funny thing is, with him moving out on two different loans, his value would have depreciate over a period of time. The length of his contract is running down, so it's a bit more feasible to get Lukaku on a permanent basis in Napoli's case. As it pertains to Raheem Sterling, people, I think that is the best workaround at this moment in time, where it's a loan deal and Chelsea cover some of the wages, and Aston Villa or any other club that is interested in Sterling cover the rest of the wages, because I don't see where Sterling will get a permanent move. He will not go to Manchester United, especially on a permanent basis. That's just too much money. Arsenal, I think they need somebody off the left-hand side. I'm not sure if it is Sterling. I think Sterling could be a good addition to Arsenal. However, it comes down to the wages again and the transfer fee that Chelsea would demand from Arsenal. Liverpool, I don't see Sterling returning to Liverpool. Manchester City, he's not Ilkay Gundogan, so I don't think he'll return to City. Which other club? Spurs. No, I don't see him going to Spurs. Which other club there is? I mean, I could see Sterling to a Spurs, honestly, but yeah, that's a story for a different day. Newcastle, I don't think Newcastle will be looking to get a Raheem Sterling, especially with the financial situation that they have going on as well. They're already going to spend some big money on the kid from Crystal Palace, Guy, if that's how his name is pronounced correctly. I think I did pronounce it correctly. So they're supposedly going to spend 70 million on him, right? As a centre back. I think that would be like a club record signing, if I'm not mistaken, right? So he won't be going to Newcastle. I think Villa is a strong possibility. Juventus, they're also interested in the signature of Raheem Sterling, right? So, but once again, people, Sterling is stating that he wants to remain in England. He wants to remain in London. So for me, I think Villa could be a strong possibility. And if you look at the left hand side of Aston Villa, they're a bit weak over that side. You know, they recently sold Diaby, which was a surprise move for a lot of us. You know, he had a good season, then he left to go to Saudi Arabia, obviously making some big money over there in the Camel League. No disrespect, but it's a Camel League. So for me, I think Sterling could be a good fit. You know, Sterling has to take his ego out of this situation as it pertains to his future at Chelsea. Listen, people, when a club is forcing you out and you're getting to the other side of age in terms of you're getting older, etc., sometimes you have to eat the humble pie and you have to take one step back. And in my opinion, I don't think Sterling going to Aston Villa is one step back. I think it's also a step forward to an extent. Listen, you've won everything. You've literally won everything that there is to win. One thing you know, win our international trophy in terms of the Euros or the World Cup, right? But that's all said and done. Yeah. Now, listen, people. Aston Villa, they have Champions League football. That's a big draw for players. Champions League football. Raheem Sterling is experienced in playing in European competitions, especially the Champions League. So Aston Villa could benefit from getting Sterling and the experience that he would bring forward to playing in a European competition. Sterling could also benefit from playing with Aston Villa, competing for top 4 again this season, as well as competing in the Champions League this season. Obviously, I don't think Villa will win the Champions League, but it's just a good thing for both parties. I think that relationship would do well as well. Now, with Leon Bailey being at Aston Villa, that's a good partnership in terms of the brotherhood that they share. I think, you know, if Leon Bailey gets on the phone to Raheem Sterling and say, listen, come down to Villa, come down to Birmingham, let's have a wonderful season. I think that would be good. You know, growing up, Raheem Sterling, that was Leon Bailey's idol. But I want to use the word idol because, I mean, Bailey did state that Sterling was his idol. I think for many young football players across Jamaica growing up, Sterling was a player that they would have looked up to say that I want to be like a Raheem Sterling, seeing that him come from, I don't remember which community in Kingston. I think it's Marvally or I don't remember people. I'm not from Kingston, but seeing that him come from the ghetto, you know, a lot of youngsters would have looked up to Raheem Sterling in that sense, wanting to be like him, wanting to go to the cities of the world, wanting to go to Liverpool. Bailey has also expressed that growing up, he wanted to wear number 31 like Sterling when he was at Liverpool. So I just think that having that relationship would be good for both players at Aston Villa. Once again, Aston Villa, they do have Champions League football. They have a brilliant manager in Unai Emery, who has won multiple Europa Leagues. You know, so he has experience in winning trophies in terms of managing big players as well. Unai Emery, he has that experience being at Arsenal, managing the likes of Lacazette, Aubameyang, Ozil, multiple players. I can't remember who was there, you know. He was at PSG, the likes of Neymar, etc., etc. So Unai Emery does have that experience. He knows how to manage players with big egos. At times, you know, the players didn't get the best of him, but I don't think that was more so like him not knowing how to manage big players. I just think that club gave these players free rein to overpower the managers. I'm talking about players like the Neymar and the Aubameyang and the Lacazette of the world and the Ozil at Arsenal. Let me take this comment from Christopher, right? Him say, no club is going to give him salary, so he just have to assess his options. Yeah, no club is going to pay those big wages for Raheem Sterling at this moment in time. That's why I'm saying I think the best workaround would be a loan deal, right? Aston Villa cover some of the wages and Chelsea cover some of the wages, or any other respective club out there that is interested in the services of Raheem Sterling. But I'm not going to sit up here, people, and tell you guys that Sterling is a bad player. Once again, I don't think he just leave City and become a bad player overnight. He's 29. He's not like Sterling. He's not like he's 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. You know what I'm saying? If he was like 33 or 32, pushing 33, then that would be a different story. But Sterling is a quality player, people. He's an exceptional player. I just think that he needs to be in the right environment. And I think him wanting to stay in England, I think Aston Villa could be a good fit for him. And once again, Leon Bailey plays for Aston Villa. Leon Bailey did help to get Diaby at Villa because they played together at Leverkusen. So that relationship was already there. And I think Bailey did express that he called Diaby and said that, listen, for the Villa, yes, I say. So that could be the same case as it pertains to Raheem Sterling. Let me see if there's anything else in this article that we can dissect. Yeah, nothing else in this article, people, as it surrounds Raheem Sterling. But interesting development. Fabrizio Romano did state that Aston Villa, they're not in talks with Chelsea at this moment in time. He also said Arsenal, they're not in talks with Chelsea as it surrounds Raheem Sterling. So the Guardian is saying one thing and Fabrizio is saying another thing. If you ask me who I trust more, people, I would say Fabrizio Romano. So for now, I guess I have to rock with Fabrizio Romano. But this is a report from the Guardian. Christopher, I take him comment again. He say Chelsea brought all these players and put them on these big wages. If you realize they're moving every one of them out, Chilwell is maybe the last one. Yeah, a lot of the players that Chelsea acquired under Todd Bowley initially, they put them on these like not lengthy contracts first, but they did put them on some big wages. I think the lengthy contracts is something more recently under the Clear Lake regime in terms of you put these players on like a 6-year contract or whatever the case is, and in terms of the payment structure, it benefits Chelsea more. And I think this is where they get around like FFP or all these type of stuff, right? Because the length of the contracts and in terms of the payment structure. So like say for example, they purchase a player for like 100 million and then put him on like a 6-year contract or something like that. Instead of like paying the whole money up front, our majority is like, oh, you pay 20 this year, then you pay 20 that year, then you pay. And then again, people, when you look at the outgoings of the academy players, it is pure profit. So it's in Chelsea. And I think that is the workaround in the situation of them beating out FFP, all these different types of things. You sell Conor Gallagher recently. Which other player them sell? Mason Mount recently. You have Broja who is going on a loan. They're not getting any money for him as yet. They just sold Omar Hutchinson. Trevor Chalobah, I think, could go for a good amount of money. I think at least 20 or over 20 million pounds. I think Trevor Chalobah could go for. Chilwell will be around the 20 million mark or 30. So they're just making a ton load of money in terms of selling these academy players. So with them putting these players on these big contracts and spreading the money across a couple of years, it's working out for them. And if they ever sell Raheem Sterling, that's some good business as well to an extent. If they can get Sterling off the wage books, right, all that money, the £325,000 that they're paying on a weekly basis, if you do the calculation surrounding that for the next 3 years, that's like 50 million, if not more. So if you get rid of him this summer transfer window, you already save back 50 million basically, just in wages, plus you get a transfer fee for Sterling. But once again, the big problem is the wage that Raheem Sterling is on. The best thing for Sterling is to take a massive wage cut if he's supposed to move to a different team. Early B said, no, it's a good time for Raheem Sterling to learn Arabic. People, I don't think Sterling will move to go Saudi Arabia. Big man thing. I don't think that's the personality of a Raheem Sterling. I don't think you'd move to Saudi Arabia, honest to God. The money, it can be a lot, but Sterling just doesn't look like that type of person to move to Saudi Arabia. Let me just take this comment from Christopher, right? Because we're going to wrap up soon. Once again, people, thanks for the turn. Just go ahead and like the video. Christopher Wright say, don't know if he would be a good fit for Villa with the players they have in his position. Only disappointment I have is they should have told him earlier so clubs could have looked at him. You have to remember, Raheem Sterling, he plays multiple positions across the front three. Can play off the right hand side, can play off the left hand side. So it's a good acquisition, especially providing competition to other players at Aston Villa. If you're going to play in the Champions League and if you want to make it back in Europe next season in terms of qualifying for the Champions League, I think you have to have enough quality going up against the likes of the United of the world, Spurs, who else will be in the mix? Newcastle will be in the mix. So I think you have to have enough quality across that front three so that you give yourself the best chance to qualify for Europe again, as well as to do well in Europe this season, because during Champions League they'll be playing like 8 games in total to qualify for the round of 16. So they have a lot of games. You know what I'm saying? Injuries will happen. Leon Bailey is a player that is kind of injury prone at times. Can pick up a look and knock here and there. So having a Raheem Sterling who can operate on both sides of the pitch, that's a good thing. I remember Diaby just left the club as well, so there's not that like level of competition for like a Leon Bailey or other respective players at the club. I know that they brought in Jaden Philange from Hull City, but he's nowhere close to the level of like a Raheem Sterling. I mean, he's nowhere close to the level of a Leon Bailey to kind of offer him that competition, and he's also not close to the level of Diaby to offer Bailey that sense of competition. So for me, Sterling going there on a loan deal, I think could be the best fit. You wait out next summer until the transfer window opens again, and then you can get a permanent move, right? Christopher Red make a comment again. Him say, I agree with the Saudi move there and only there. He could get those salaries, or it's like, oh, he's not in the England squad. True, but as I said, people, I think Sterling, I think he has a lot to offer to football. Again, the next World Cup is in America. When is that? 2026. So by then, Raheem Sterling will be like 31. 31, all is not done and dusted. So if Sterling goes on to have like an exceptional season at Villa or whatever the case is, he could be in contention for another place in the England squad. I remember England, they will have a new manager by the time the 2026 World Cup rolls up, Early B say, check this coming from Early B say, Sterling behaving like he's among the top 10 best footballer in the EPL. Camel League is more than willing to pay him more with lots of game time. But once again, I don't think it's a money issue for Raheem Sterling. I mean, a lot of the players that move to Saudi Arabia, it's never about money. These players are rich already. It's never about money. Obviously, it's about more money, if that makes sense. They might get more money, so them take it. But a player that goes to the Saudi Pro League can't look on we until we say, oh, they move because they never that make money. So in terms of Sterling case, it's not like he's poor or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I just think Sterling has a lot more to offer to English football, man. I don't want to see Sterling go to the Saudi Pro League, people. Trust me. Sterling only play anywhere. Sterling play anywhere across the front three. Exactly. So that's why I think, going to Villa could offer like good competition for players at Aston Villa, especially players like Leon Bailey, John McGinn, who kind of plays off that left-hand side. And again, people, Juventus is a strong possibility in terms of they're interested in the signature of Raheem Sterling. Could Italy be a good place for Sterling to go and play his football at price trade? I don't think it's a bad thing. I think if anything, more English players should look to leave England and go to different leagues. We've seen that with the Jude Bellingham, the Jadon Sanchez of the world, and it has worked out quite well. I think I wanted to say something about Juventus. Can't remember what it was. They're in the rebuilding phase, so let's see, people. But once again, people, thank you for the turnout for this live. We will be back tomorrow for Reggae Boyz Weekly. Dicanio will be here. If not Dicanio, Dylan will be here Sunday once again. But this was just a solo thing for myself, people. And before we head out, people, let me just give you guys the outro for the show.